Listen to what he says about anyone who tries to warn you about what's going on in clip 9.
That's our tradition. It's not Democratic or Republican. It is the American tradition, and we forget that sometimes because we're so caught up in our day-to-day politics. And we listen to a bunch of hooey on TV or talk radio that doesn't really tell the truth about what's going on.
You hear him lying? The stand-up comedian? Someone only Bill Maher could believe? A stoner on Sunset Boulevard would believe this crap? A bunch of hooey that you hear on television and talk radio? Talk radio? Why don't you just ban the press and get it over with? Just ban the press. Ban anyone who doesn't lick your boots! You monster, you! You American-hating monster, you! Domestic violence, huh? This sneak in the White House has everything to hide. So let's go right to the facts and the hooey, as the president calls it. Here's some hooey for you today on the Savage Nation. Here's some hooey from talk radio. Here's some of the hooey. Here's his loser, Susan Rice, disclosing a part of the deal that should make your hair stand up. I'll let her speak, and then I will comment in clip 7.
The IAEA, which is a highly respected international organization, will field an international team of inspectors, and those inspectors will, in all likelihood, come from IAEA member states, most of whom have diplomatic relations with Iran. We, of course, are a rare exception. No Americans will be part of the IAEA inspection team. They're not going to be independent Americans.
Did you hear what she just said? Obama signed a deal with Iran, a treaty in essence, permitting them to develop a nuclear weapon, and we are not even part of the inspection team. Instead, it's the Muslim nations that are Iran's friends that will inspect the facilities. If this is not treason, ladies and gentlemen of the Savage Nation, tell me what is. I'll calm it down. I'll slow her down, because this truck's running too fast down Highway 80. This truck is just about to race out of control over a cliff if I don't control myself. I'll slow her down. I'd like to know if you believe that that's treasonous. He signs a deal with the terror state of Iran, which has killed many of our troops, which funds proxy armies around the world, which has planted terrorists in the United States of America in the form of Hezbollah. And in this treaty, we learned today in that little speech by Susan Rice that we have no inspectors that will be permitted in Iran. Now we have the shooting today on these 2 recruiting bases in Tennessee. Now you ask yourself why the Marines were shot down like sheep. You want to hear the answer? Because they were disarmed. Did you know that your troops are disarmed on military bases across America? Do you know who disarmed them? This is unheard of, but it's been going on since President Bill Clinton. The Democrats took away the weapons of all of our armed service members on base, which is how the Fort Hood massacre occurred when the Muslim major, Nidal Hassan, who has still not been executed. Nidal Hassan is enjoying a fat cell with halal meals and psychiatric care, dental care, medical care, every kind of care in the world. And Nidal Hassan hasn't been executed. Why not? Timothy McVeigh was executed within 2 years of that horrible crime in Oklahoma City. How is that possible? Why is Obama keeping the Muslim major who committed the Fort Hood massacre alive? Why has he not been executed for that crime? Ask yourself the question, and unless you're Robert De Niro, you'll get the answer. Unless you're one of the brainwashed, psychopathic liberals for whom the bell will never toll. The bell will never toll. The bell will never ring in their head. Their brains are stuffed with straw. They are the straw men of our time. T.S. Eliot wrote about the straw man. They are the straw men. Hollywood, the news media, the straw men of our time. The bell cannot ring in their head. No bell can ever go off in their head. They can never put 2 and 2 together.
It's not Democratic or Republican. It is the American tradition, and we forget that sometimes because we're so caught up in our day-to-day politics. And we listen to a bunch of hooey on TV or talk radio that doesn't really tell the truth about what's going on.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell the truth like you, huh, you two-faced, double-talking liar, you. Doesn't really tell the truth. You wouldn't know the truth if it fell on your shoe. Truth. He just gave a big speech now about the shooting. Didn't mention the shooter's name. Didn't mention the religion, didn't mention Islam, didn't mention Ramadan, nothing. Didn't mention the name Mohammed Yusuf Abdulaziz, nothing. Nothing, just our prayers are with the families. Surprised he didn't call it workplace violence. Surprised he didn't say, well, the shooter was driving an American car, a Mustang at that. And therefore, it's definitely domestic terrorism. It's sickening. The whole thing, there's only so much you can take of it. We have the speech recorded. You want to try it? I don't know if I can blow it. I can handle it without blowing it. I don't know. I can't listen to him anymore. I don't know. Maybe I've been at this business. I can't listen to this man. Every time this liar speaks, I blow up. I can't take him anymore. He's destroying the country from within at a pace that you can never believe. Now let's listen to him now about the workplace shooting in Chattanooga. Go ahead, play it. Let's listen.
I just received a briefing from FBI Director Comey as well as my White House team.
Oh, hey, that's
about the tragic shooting that took place in Chattanooga today.
And we know more about it than he does.
We don't know yet all the details. We know.
What do you mean we don't know the details? A Muslim opened up and killed unarmed soldiers. What's the details, you schmendrick?
We've identified a name.
Oh, a name. What's his name? Timothy McVeigh?
Investigation is taking place.
Oh, attorney, now I've had enough. That's it. I can't take it. There's going to be a full investigation. That's full investigation. Oh, we have a name. What's his name, President Obama? We don't know his name. We're going to have a full investigation. What do you need to inspect? What do you need to investigate? What's there to investigate? Your Department of Homeland Security failed because you have a moron running it. A guy can't even spell his own name. Asked him about the shooting in San Francisco. Didn't know the woman's name. Ask him about Chattanooga. See if Jed Johnson can spell Chattanooga. Give it to him on the spot. Excuse me, Mr. Johnson. Can you spell Chattanooga for us? We're doing a minor intelligence test. Failure. That's all. So here we are. Now, again, I have to make another point that many of you out there don't know. Why were our Marines unarmed at the recruiting centers? Why were our soldiers unarmed at Fort Hood, where 13 were executed in cold blood by Muslim Major Nidal Hassan and about 56 shot in cold blood? Why was he not shot dead? Answer, because Hillary Clinton's husband, Bill Clinton, one of his first acts upon becoming president in January of 1993 was to disarm all troops on all military bases in the United States of America. Why did they disarm all troops on all military bases in the United States of America and make them sitting ducks? I'll let you figure out why Bill and Hillary Clinton did this. You don't remember the early days of the Clintons? What they called the FBI agents? How the daughter treated them like waiters and insulted them? You forgot all those days. Well, I've been around long enough to remember everything that they did, that we know of, by the way. And now they're back. 8 years wasn't enough. Here it comes again. The horror is back. It's like here comes Freddie. Just when you thought the horror show was over, here comes Freddie's wife. 8 years of the horror of Bill Clinton. Now here comes Freddie's wife. Chattanooga gunman was born in Kuwait. What does that mean, born in Kuwait? I'll tell you a little bit more about it. He was naturalized through the very difficult citizenship process that the United States puts immigrants through. Oh, it's a very difficult process. You have to swear on your holy book that you hate America and will do everything you can to undermine it. That's the new citizenship test. Do you swear upon your holy book that you will do everything you can to undermine the United States of America? Yes, next. Stamp them in. That's all. The next one. That's the new citizenship test. Okay. Only so far we can go with this. So, in other words, now you know why Obama is taking these positions. Because Jay Johnson advised them. Jay Johnson is a Wall Street lawyer, a lifetime leftist. He speaks more like a Quaker than anything I've ever seen. And he went on, Jay Johnson, at the Oxford Union speech to other leftists. War must be regarded as a finite, extraordinary, and unnatural state of affairs. War permits one man, listen to this, if he is a privileged belligerent. Sounds like white privilege, doesn't it? You'll hear that now. Privileged belligerent. Meaning if you're in America with a great military, you're a privileged belligerent. Do you understand how twisted these people are? Do you have any idea how mentally disordered they really are? How sick they are? How sick they are. They have nice, clean shirts, nice, clean suits. They can smile. They can walk. They can talk. They are zombies, left-wing fanatics, and they're getting us killed. Did you hear what I just said? If you're a privileged belligerent and you act at war to kill another, He said war violates the natural order of things in which children bury their parents. In war, parents bury their children. And then he said in its 12th year, we must not accept the current conflict and all that it entails as the new normal. Peace must be regarded as the norm toward which the human race continually strives. That sounds very good, Mr. Johnson. But 4 white Marines are dead because of your stupid, idiotic doxies. You're linked into doxies that are antiquated. They belong in a textbook, not on the real world, in the real world. Robert Gates, Secretary of Defense, that's another laughing stock. WABC, Mike, welcome to the Savage Nation. What's on your mind?
Thank you. I just want to say that the emotion, the lack of emotion that the president showed with the death of 4 Marines, it was like he was reading the ingredients of a cereal box. And you contrast.
Well, that's because they were not Freddie Gray. They weren't criminals in the back of a police van known for felonies. See, he has sympathy for only a certain segments of the population. Great sympathy, for example, for illegal alien children coming across the border with illnesses. Those are people he has sympathy for. Felons in the back of police vans. Felons who try to steal the guns from police and shoot police. Then he gets emotional, doesn't he? He emotes quite well. Gets all worked up. Why is that?
Why was there no emotion? I would love to see anger. I mean, if any normal person would be angry at the murder of 4, and you can't even say Islamist terrorists.
No, we know why. Take a look at the pictures of the 4 young Marines who were killed. That'll answer your question. If Obama had a son, none of them would look like them. Does that answer your question? He can't relate to them. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm too late in life and too late in the show, in the history of this country, to mince words anymore. If Obama had a son, none of them would have looked like the Marines who were killed. Does that answer your question? I guess it does, because you haven't said yes or no. Okay, that's it. There are many other topics. If you care to comment on any of them, my victory in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals must appeal to someone out there. We can touch on that. We can touch on all the other stories of the day. It's Rock and Roll Friday. Let's lighten it up a bit. Let's give the audience something to laugh at. Maybe a little meatball recipe or something about Teddy. I can't do it today. Just can't do it. I just don't have it. I'll play music, but I can't get off this topic too easily, because these 4 young men are dead because of the policies of this administration. Make no mistake about it. This didn't happen in a vacuum. DHS failed us. The director of DHS should be fired today and replaced by a returning war veteran, or a policeman from the streets of America who's faced these radical Muslims before in a shootout. Then you'd have someone who could protect us. Rudy Giuliani should be made head of the DHS if you take the job. Paul, WMAC Radio, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Mike, there's a reason why those 4 Marines were tragically assassinated, and the reason is because there is a Muslim equivalent of Michael Savage inciting Muslims to rage against America, just as you incite hatred against this president. There is a Muslim...
Sir, you made a big statement. I don't know what you're saying. What are you talking about? I'm not allowed to have a minority opinion? You mean because I don't have your opinion, I'm not allowed to express it? Only you can talk your big mouth and shoot your big seltzer mouth off like Clarabelle? What do you mean, I can't express a minority opinion? You stupid idiot, you?
There's no greater proof in the lack of repression than you have your own show. But there is a Muslim equivalent to you, spouting the same hatred 24/7 like you do.
Oh, so in other words, I'm the one who killed the Marines, you schmuck, you?
Was elected by the American...
You stupid lowlife, you! I'm the one who shot unarmed Marines, you stupid little man, you!
Idiot!
I'm the one who disarmed our military on bases, not Bill Clinton, you idiot! Alone. Just leave me alone, you liberal, you. I can't stand it anymore. I can't take these liberals. They're going to kill us all. So anyone who stands up to the Muslim assault on the West is now inciting a riot. Do you hear this? Do you understand what I mean by liberalism is a mental disorder? That they have more hatred for those of us who have the guts and the willingness and the strength to stand up to this assault upon us than they do against those actually doing the killing. those doing the killing are their friends.